the sound going? Ah, sweet. We're good to go. Hey guys, sorry for the early start, but yeah, I know a few people are mindful of in terms of going to sleep quite early. Basically what I've done is I've taken the 2018 paper and just kind of redid a few questions that were mixed up with achieved merits and excellence. Now I can't remember off the top of my head what grades they were, but what I thought we could do is just go through the questions, and then I might just hang around for a bit towards the end just to kind of answer questions. Now, if you guys want to go ahead with these questions, you can actually go ahead with these questions in the link below in the description. Sorry, link below. In the description below, you guys can actually find a link which should take you to a page, but let me just see if it actually works. Of course, it's not showing up. Yeah, no, you guys should be able to find that questions. All right, so those are the questions I'm going to be going through today, because I'm completely understand that if people find it very easy and kind of just want to go ahead and just do their own work, that's absolutely fine as well. But yeah, so these are the questions that I'm going to be working out from today. Okay, thank you very much, Nathan, for already letting me know that. Yeah, guys, I know some of you guys would have just stormed through that, but I'm very mindful of people that are joining in who might be just kind of stressed out with last minute study. So that's why I'm kind of going through some of the older questions. Kenny, if I have time at the end, I think the very last question I have is a dimension question. But yeah, we'll actually go through it. Just before I actually start this tutorial, guys, I just wanted to give you guys a bit of couple of tips in terms of how you actually go about managing your time tomorrow. Because remember, you only got like 1 hour tomorrow. Couple of things to know. I think this was last year's marking grid. I just want to show you guys real quickly. So basically for achieved there, you're looking at getting 3 A's. All right, now 3 A's is like 3 A's is like getting 3 basic questions correct to get an achieved. So but just remember that I think you can only get a maximum of 2A or 2M from each question. So you know how you got like question 1, question 2, question 3. So let's say you get A, like 1 achieved question in each one of them. That basically gets you an achieved grade. But if you get let's say you get 3 A's and then nothing here, I think that actually is a not achieved, because I think the maximum you can get in each question is 2A. At least that's what I remember it as. But you guys are going to be fine, because what you guys are going to be aiming for is you want to try and aim for those merit and excellence questions, so that you don't have to stress about just passing this with an achieved. All right, and trust me, you guys can actually do questions up to merit and excellence as well. So one of the tactics I say is this. All right, now you got about 60 minutes, right? I would say take about 5 minutes just to read through every question from the beginning to the end. Just make sure you read through the whole question, and then just kind of put some for you guys, I would say, like, put it, if you want, easy, medium, hard, whatever. For each question, just put an easy, medium, hard. Okay, and then what you do is make sure you do all the easy ones first, because then you don't actually stress about your time management, and you don't stress about like not knowing things. Then start attempting those medium kind of questions where you're like, I need to think a little bit more, but I think I can do it. Spend time on those ones. And then the really hard ones, just save it to the end, because a lot of times what people tend to do is they tend to go backwards like this. So they actually try the hard ones first, then they do the medium ones, then they do the easy ones. So the problem though is that if you don't watch your time, then you can actually end up wasting a lot of time on a question without even solving it. So that's just something for you guys to just remember tomorrow, just in terms of how to manage your time, that 60 minutes. All right. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with this. Where is my stuff? Okay, I'm just gonna I know I've put my slow mode on because I try to see if I can actually keep up with the questions. Obviously I can't because people are just still going, but I'll pop up. If I see any questions, guys, I will answer it, but I don't think I can keep up with the amount of chat that's happening. And so if there are people that can answer some of these questions, feel free to answer them. All right. Like I think someone asked, what's the minimum for excellence? You got to get, I think it was 3E, was it? Yeah, for excellence, you need 3E, or you can get 2E and 2M by the looks of it, for this particular paper anyway. Okay, so we go to question 1, guys. Now this was from last year, so we're going to rearrange so that we get R by itself. So we start off with A, so A is equal to 4 over 25 R squared, cross multiply in this case. And so what we're going to end up with is 25A equals 4R squared. Now you want to try and bring R by itself, so I'm going to get rid of that 4 to the opposite side, which will be divided by 4. And so I've got R squared is equal to 25A over 4. So what you can do is you can actually just write down R is equal to square root of 25A over 4. Now just keep in mind, you do want to actually take square root of this because you got nice numbers that you can square root it. So in this case, you can actually take square root of 25, which becomes 5. Square root of A just stays as it is. And then square root of 4 is 2. Yeah, so I mean, it was just like a real nice, easy question to start off with. So that, I think, was my your first achieved question that kind of came up last year with rearranging. What I thought I'll do is I'm going to give you guys another question like this, just to kind of keep things going here. But I'm going to up the ante a little bit. So let's say we want to actually find out something like this. Ah, 16 over. Okay, and this one I want you guys to find R in terms of A. So try that out. Jay Patel, that's actually a good idea. Thank you for that. Yeah, it is a good idea to put plus or minus in there. Just because we're actually doing square root, so it's not a bad idea at all. The 5's not in the root because when you take square root of 25, you get 5. Alright guys, just a heads up, MCAT is actually 1 hour, it's not 3 hours. But anyway, let's have a look at this question. Now, I've actually purposely put R squared in the denominator. So what you can actually do is you can actually rewrite this. Just switch R squared to the left-hand side. But remember that you've got an A squared plus 2 on that left-hand side, right? I'm not going to do anything to the 36. I'm just going to leave 36 as it is. But if I shift R squared to the left-hand side, it's getting multiplied, but make sure you put a bracket around A squared plus 2. All right. Once you do that, because otherwise what happens is some people actually write this as R squared times A squared and then forget about the 2. So now what you get is R squared is equal to 16 over 36, and then you've got that a squared plus 2. All right, so a squared plus 2 just comes back to the denominator because you're dividing it now. And then what we have is now we can actually work out what r is, because r is going to be square root of 16 over 36 a squared plus 2. So just remember that you can actually take square root of 16, which is going to be 4. Square root of 36 is 6, but the a squared plus 2, you can't really do anything to it, so you just leave it there as the final answer. All right, guys, so that is basically your I think the first question, which isn't achieved. Let's go to question number 2 here. So if you guys have been attending my tutorial so far, this should be another just walk in the park question for you guys. But if you haven't, just remember that you can actually still try and do this. Raksha, I think you can actually leave it as a square root answer. Let me just check from last year's answer schedule. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Where was it? I think it was question 1. Where did you go? Yep, you can actually leave it in the square root symbol with a plus or minus sign. So that was actually accepted as an achieved answer last year. All right, so let's go to the next question here. I've got a couple of answers coming up with 2 and 3. So let's have a look at this, guys. So if you do get a question like this and you've got no idea of how to start it, just look at the base there, that's 3. So just on the side somewhere, well, I guess for me, I'm just going to write it here. 3 to the power of 1 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 3 to the power of 3 is 27. And 3 to the power of 4 is 81. Now, it's really important that you remember these numbers, because if you remember these numbers, things just become so much more easier. Because look at this. All we got is 3 to the power of x plus 1 equals 81. Now, 81 is 3 to the power of 4. And then what we can do is, because the two bases are the same, get rid of them. And we can say that the power is equal to each other. So we're going to get x plus 1 is equal to 4. Therefore, x is equal to 3. Now, last year, this question was an achieved question. And you were allowed to guess and check in this, all right? So you can actually guess and check in this type of question here. So, sweet. Davita Telex, go check out the tutorial that I did on September 1st. There's a lot of solving quadratic inequations there. Calculus level 3 internal tutorial. Scarlett, I'll have to come back to you on that one. Radius question 3. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys another question like this, very similar, but I will add something extra to it, guys, so that you guys can actually have a look at it. All right, so we're going to do this one here. So try this one here. Bright, it still doesn't even come close to what we had last year, man. Last year I had about 435 at one point, which was crazy. right, guys, I'm gonna kind of start doing this question. So the reason I put this question up is because some people, what they do is they kind of go 8 times 16 to try and do it this way. But the easiest way to do this is to rewrite this as 16 to the power of x minus 2 equals 64 divided by 8. Because all I've done is I've taken that 8 from here and I've divided by 8 on the other side. So now what I've got is 16 to the power of x minus 2 equals 64 divided by 8 is just 8. Now, still, this is not really going to help me because it is actually 16 to the power. But what you can do is remember that 16 and 8, you can rewrite them as 2 to the power of something. So you're going to have 2 to the power of 1 is 2, 2 squared is 4, 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and 2 to the power of 4 is 16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace 16 with 2 to the power of 4, and I'm going to replace 8 with 2 to the power of 3. So this 16 here is going to be replaced with 2 to the power of 4, and I got x minus 2 equals 8, which is 2 to the power of 3. So once we do that, remember that you've actually got to multiply the 4 with both of these things here. So the way I kind of do it is that I always tell people when you're doing powers of powers, just put them in a bracket. So you're going to get 2 to the power of 4 multiplied by x minus 2 equals 2 to the power of 3. So when we expand the bracket, we're going to get 4x minus 8, because 4 times x, 4x, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, equals 2 to the power of 3. At this point, both of our bases are the same, so we can get rid of them, and we've got the two powers equal to each other. So we can say that 4x minus 8 equals to 3. So got to rearrange to figure out what x is. So we've got 4x is equal to 3 plus 8. And then we can say 4x is equal to 11. And finally, we can say that x is equal to 11 divided by 4. Cubic inequality. If I've got some time, guys, I'll go through some cubic inequalities towards the end. All right, so okay, so this question achieved, it was, but I think this one here, however, the question B, I would probably put this as a merit question here. I think this was achieved for sure, the first part that we did, but this second part of this question, I would actually say it's definitely a merit. You probably could get an achieved if you can just get up to this stage here, to this line. All right, let's go to the next question. All right, question number 3 here. Writing it as a single fraction. This question ended up being a merit question last year. So definitely worth knowing how to do questions like this with fractions. What is it? You made all bases to the start instead of dividing. Jonathan, you can do that way as well. That's not a problem, man. As long as you get your final answer as 11 over 4, then you're good to go. Most likely have Dominic, not sure about that, man, because sometimes they could give you fractions, but I don't think they'll give you as ugly fractions like I did in the previous question. Okay, so let's actually do this question here. So one of the things people actually generally tend to do with this question is that they tend to do this whole cross multiplication thing. Now that works really well at kind of like when the numbers are really easy, but if you're doing that and you're trying to go into level 2, I would strongly recommend you not to do that, because what ends up happening is you can end up creating really big problems. So the way I do it is this: I write down the two fractions, but what I do is I just kind of give a little bit of space. I'll show you what I mean by so at the moment my denominator on the left hand side fraction is x plus 1 and the right hand side is x minus 3. What I need to have is I need to have both of these denominators to be the same. So to do that, what I've got to do is on the left hand side I've got to multiply by x minus 3 for the denominator, which means I've also got to multiply x minus 3 in the numerator. And then as for the right hand side, I've got x plus 1 missing. So I'm going to multiply the denominator by x plus 1 and the numerator by x plus 1. And so what you guys should see now is that I've got yellow and blue at the bottom of the right hand side, and I've also got yellow and blue at the bottom of the left hand side. So combining all of this, I can just put this whole thing as one fraction, and I've got 3 multiplied by x minus 3 plus 2 multiplied by x plus 1, and the whole thing is divided by x minus 3 times x plus 1. So once I do that, I just need to expand the numerator. So 3 times x, 3x, 3 times minus 3 is minus 9. Then I've got plus 2 times x, which is plus 2x, 2 times 1, which is plus 2, and the whole thing is divided by x minus 3 times x plus 1. Simplifying this, first up I've got 3x and 2x, which is 5x, and then I've got minus 9 plus 2, which is minus 7, and the whole thing is over x minus 3 times x plus 1. Now this question here is a merit question, guys, so no, you don't want to be cancelling out the brackets, Jack, because that would just mess things up. You don't actually you don't actually cancel any of this, because this one you're actually writing them as a single fraction. Is it all right if we expanded the bottom? You can expand the bottom, Sarah, but according to the schedule, it says denominator does not need to be expanded. So you can actually leave it as 2 brackets, especially for the bottom. All right, so I'm going to do a similar question, but I'm going to throw a curveball in here for you guys, just because I've seen it happen before in MCAT. So something like this. Now, I don't think it'll come because I've seen it more in level 2, but it is something that could potentially happen, but I never know what these guys end up doing. So I want you guys to have a look at B and kind of work out what you think B is going to be to write it as a single fraction. Yeah, as we don't need to expand the brackets at the bottom, guys, especially at the denominator. You can actually leave it like this. This is absolutely fine for a grade of merit. Nah, Daniel, still about 100 away, man. So record was 436. So All right, let's try this one here. Now, I'm assuming that you guys are going, what the hell am I supposed to do here with the x squared minus 16? Just remember, there's a reason why I did x squared minus 16, because what you can do is you can actually put 4 over x minus 4, but x squared minus 16 you can actually factorize, because when you factorize, that'll be x minus 4 and x plus 4. So because of that, I don't actually need to do anything with the right hand side bracket. The only thing I need to do is with the left hand side bracket, which is going to be x plus 4, and then the numerator it's going to be x plus 4. So what I'm going to get is the whole thing is divided by x plus 4 and x minus 4, and I've got 4 times x plus 4 minus 2. So I got 4 times x, which is 4x, 4 times 4, which is 16, minus 2, and the whole thing is over x plus 4 and x minus 4. So simplifying this, I'm going to get 4x plus 14 over x plus 4 and x minus 4. Why do we do the brackets at the top need to be extended? Okay, red sector. The reason we actually have to simplify the numerator is because that's what we're trying to do. We have to actually expand the brackets out. But for the denominator, yeah, you don't really need to do anything like that. You can just leave it as it is. All right, so let's go to the next question. And we're getting to some quadratics here. So have a look at this one here, guys. This is a, what question was this? Was this a merit question, or I'm sure this was a merit question. Question D. All right, just give me a second. I just want to have a look at this question. This could be an excellence question. No way, that's too easy to be excellence. Question D is, oh wow, it is. Okay, so this question here is actually an excellence question, folks. So have a go at it. So I'm just going to give you guys a diagram to kind of get started with, all right? So what we have is we've got a right angle triangle with the base being x and the height being 2x minus 3. The area is 27, and we've got to figure out what the height is. So what I'm going to say to you guys is that even if you can do, I'm just going to see where you need to do for achieved. For achieved equating to 130. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, I'll show you guys what you need to do for your basic achieved, and then after that we'll actually show you guys how to do the whole question. So area of a triangle is half times base times height, and I think I picked some horrible numbers here, but I hope not. But yeah, I think that's just the way it is. So we've got area is equal to 27, and then we've got half multiplied by base, which is x, and then the height, which is 2x minus 3. So at this point, you're getting nothing. All right, so far you're getting nothing. But if you get rid of the 2, and I'm talking about this 2 here, you can rewrite this as 27 multiplied by 2 equals x times 2x minus 3. And if you write this as 54 equals x times 2x is 2x squared, and then x times minus 3x minus 3 is minus 3x. And I think, just checking the answer schedule, correct equation by expanding or removal. So this, getting up to here will definitely get you guys an achieved. Oh, sorry. What was this? I've just got someone, Aliana, for the x to the power of 16. Few of us asked what happened to the x minus 4 on the right fraction. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the question. What did I miss? All right, okay. Aliana, sorry. I know I missed that because it's just a bit crazy with the chat going up and down here. But the reason we didn't actually multiply by x minus 4 is because it already had an x minus 4 in the denominator. So that's why we didn't actually need to do this whole multiplying by x minus 4 again. And the reason it had x minus 4 was because when you can actually factorize x squared minus 16. When you factorize it, it ends up being x minus 4 and x plus 4. So that's why I don't need to do multiply the right hand side by x minus 4. Hopefully that helped, Aliana there. Sorry, I know I just missed that question. Okay, anyway, going back to question number 4. We've got up to here, so we just got to rearrange this and solve this quadratic. So I'm going to get rid of the 54 to the right hand side. So we're going to get 0 equals 2x squared minus 3x minus 54. I do apologize, guys. I actually picked some horrible numbers here. But you know what to do here. So we've got to actually factorize this. So we've got 2 times a negative 54, which equals to negative 108. And so what we're doing is we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 108 and add up to negative 3. So now you might be thinking, geez, I've got no idea how this is going to work out, but I'm going to give you guys a couple of hints on how to actually do this. What you could do is, because you've got 108, you can just break it down into prime factors. So when I say prime factors, you got 108 could be written as 2 times 54, and then you can break down 54 as 2 times 27, and then you can break down even further 27 as 3 times 9. So what we can do is we can write 108 here as 2 times 2 times 3 times 9. And basically I'm looking for a combination of two numbers that's going to multiply to 108 but add to 3. So I can kind of see this right here, because if I do 2 times 2 times 3, that's going to be 12. So 108 could be written as 12 times 9. And because I want it to be negative, I can write this as negative 12 times positive 9, and then adding up to 3 is negative 12 plus 9. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to change the negative 3x as negative 12x plus 9. Peach, I'm actually going to tell you this. I just picked this horrible number, man. I was just trying to make the question work, but yeah, it's just I hope they don't actually give you guys like really horrible numbers like that. Anyway, let's keep carrying on with this. So we've got 2x squared, and then we've got minus 12x, we've got plus 9x minus 54. So I've got to split them up into two factors. So 0 is equal to 2x, and then I can write this as x minus 6. And then as for this side, I've got 9 as a common factor, which can be written as x minus 6. And because x minus 6 is a common factor, I can rewrite this as x minus 6 multiplied by 2x plus 9. Now, I'm not finished yet because I've actually got to try and figure out what x is. So I can say that x minus 6 equals to 0, or 2x plus 9 equals to 0. Now, in the first case, you got x is equal to positive 6. In the second case, you got 2x is equal to minus 9. and then x is equal to minus 9 divided by 2. Doesn't really matter because that x ends up being a negative number. And remember, your base has to be a positive number. It can't be a negative number. So we're gonna kind of have to ignore this. All right, so then we've actually got 6 as the base x. But if you go back to the question actually says, what is the value of the height? Now our height is 2x minus 3. So you can't just say x is equal to 6 as your final answer. You've actually got to work out what the height is. So the height was 2x minus 3. So you got to go 2 times 6 minus 3, which is 12, take away 3, and you're going to get 9 centimeters as your final answer. So guys, this question is an excellence question. So getting that final answer is excellence. I'd probably say getting up to here is going to be your merit. Now, even if you make a mistake in somewhere, let me just show you guys. Even if you make like a mistake somewhere here, as long as you get the final consistent answer, you can actually end up getting a merit for it. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Kind of come back to down to earth achieved question here. Alfie, no, this is just a mock kind of, I just created a random paper and just kind of going through it, man. All right, guys, just to kind of go through with the easy kind of achieved question here. So this one here, I've purposely actually done this question just to give ourselves a little break before we get into the remaining questions. So all we got to do is just substitute our values. So 2 times x cubed. Now x is equal to 2, so I'm going to put that as 2 cubed. Y is equal to negative 1. Make sure you put that negative 1 in a bracket. Minus 2 times negative 1. So what we've got here is 2 multiplied by 2. 2 cubed is going to be 8. And negative 1 squared is going to be positive 1. And then minus 2 times minus 1 is positive 2. So what we've got is a equals 2 multiplied by 2 times 8 times 1, which is 16, I hope, plus 2. And then a is equal to 2 times 18. So a is equal to 36. Now, the only reason I actually gave this particular question was because I wanted you guys to be careful with the negative 1, especially when you do negative 1 squared. People forget that negative 1 squared is positive 1. Just thought I'd just leave it there. Jenny, if you want to catch up with my notes on these questions here, there is a link on the description where you can actually just go and have a look at some of these questions. Nah, Dominic, I don't do that. I don't know it, man. Okay, so I think we're actually good to go to the next question, because this was just an achieved question that I just wanted to kind of put up there. Yes, guys, I do live on the flight path of the busiest airport, which is Auckland. So, yeah, gotta get used to it. All right, let's go to the next question, folks. Question 6. Now, question 6 is, just want to double check what question 6 is, whether it's an achieved merit. Okay, question 6 is definitely a merit question. All right, and the reason why I've actually put this question here is because it's just one of those annoying questions that pop up. But if they do pop up, trust me guys, it is a easy kind of question to do. All you got to know is just a couple of the factorizing rules and you're pretty much good to go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of slowly start working on this question. So the first thing is you got to factorize the numerator. So in the numerator, you've got 5x as a common factor. So you can actually take out 5x as a common factor. And what you're going to end up with is x minus 3. And then same thing with the denominator. You've got 3 as a common factor. So you can take it out, which ends up being x squared minus 9. So now comes that extra step that you got to remember. Remember that x squared minus 9, you can actually factorize it as x minus 3 and x plus 3. So you're going to get 5x times x minus 3 divided by 3 times x minus 3 multiplied by x plus 3. Once you do that, now you can actually cancel out x minus 3 and x minus 3, which means your final answer ends up being 5x over 3 multiplied by x plus 3. Now you can actually leave it like this, or you can actually write it as 5x over 3x plus 9 as well. Shivel Plays quickly grabbed your question there. The reason it's not 3x times x minus 9 is because you don't actually have 27x, because you wrote it like this, 3x times x minus 9. Now if you do that, you're going to get 3x times x is 3x squared, 3x times minus 9 is negative 27x, and we don't actually have an x there, so that's why it's not that. All right, I'm actually going to chuck another question here that is similar to this style, just for you guys to try and do. So it's going to be another simplified question. Okay, try that one there. Just have a go. Wait, you can't. Wow. Peach, I just caught your question real quickly before it kind of flew out of my screen. X squared minus 9, you're actually factorizing it. You're not actually, what do you call it, expanding it. Greenland Shark. Nah, man, we got a while to go. We are losing a lot of people, but that's all right. What if there aren't any common multiples or like terms? Mikkel 99. They will always give questions where they'll always actually give you questions that'll actually factorize. I wish I could actually give, I could actually reduce the time on the slow mode, guys, but trust me, if I take off slow mode, I just cannot keep up with the conversations. It's just growing so fast. So that's why I mean, in the process, I've been kind of blocking a couple of people as well for just some silly stuff. But anyway, let's go with this question here. We got to factorize the numerator. So the numerator here, you can factorize this as two numbers that multiply to 35 and 12, add up to 12. We've got 7 and 5. So this is going to be x plus 7 and x plus 5. Now, here's the hint, guys. Whenever you see a question like this, there is going to be a factor that's going to kind of cancel out. It's just the way it is. They're not going to give you a question where you don't cancel things out. Come on. So if that's the case, then we've got the denominator that we need to look at as well. So we're going to get 4 out of the as a common factor. So we're going to get x squared minus 25. And if you remember, x squared over 25 is difference of 2 squares. So you can actually break it further into x minus 5 and x plus 5. So you're going to get x plus 7 multiplied by x plus 5 divided by 4 times x plus 5 times x minus 5. So in this case, we can actually get rid of the x plus 5s, and we have our 2 answers there. Which means we're going to get x plus 7 over 4 times x minus 5. Now, I've actually seen some people do this. I don't know why they do it, but they just do it. They go and cancel these 2 x's out after that. So please don't do that. Just leave the answer as it is. Cool. Let's go to question 7. Oh, sorry, denominator at the end. Creechy, I just saw you there. Sorry. So the denominator at the end there, you don't really have to expand it. All I've done here is x plus 5 and x plus 5. There's common factors. So I just get rid of them. And because I get rid of them, in the denominator, I only have 4, which comes here, and then x minus 5, which kind of pops over here. All right, let's go have a look at question number 7 here, folks. So question 7 here, I think it was a merit or an excellence question. I'm just going to have a double check. Okay, question 7 here is definitely a excellence question, but doing like a couple of steps in this can easily get you to a merit. So I'm actually going to show you guys how to get a merit in this in like 2 lines. All right. So if you haven't been paying attention, this is probably a good time to actually have a look at it. So basically what we have here is, remember that anytime you have a number by itself, you can actually put it as to the power of 1. Okay. That's step 1. Step 2, remember that when you actually have 2 bases that are the same and you're multiplying it, you actually add the powers together. So if that's the case, then what we can do is we can rewrite this as 6 to the power of 1 plus 1 minus 3x, because that's what the power is, which equals 6 to the power of 2x squared. And doing that is going to get you an achieved. Simplify indices, consistently generates quadratic. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's going to get you an achieved right there. Just doing that part there. So once you do that, then what you can do is, because the bases are the same, we can actually get rid of the 2 bases, and we're going to get, well, kind of simplify this thing first. So we're going to get 1 plus 1, which is 2. 2 minus 3x equals 2x squared. Okay, so next step is putting this equal to the left-hand side equals to 0, which means we're going to get 2x squared minus 3x changes into plus 3x, and positive 2 changes to minus 2. So by doing this, I think you end up getting consistently generates quadratics, contains 3 terms when simplified. This could potentially get you to a merit by the looks of the exam paper, unless I'm getting it wrong. Anyway, so what we've got is we've got a nice little quadratic that we've got to try and solve. So we're going to do it. We've got 2 multiplied by negative 2, which equals negative 4. So we're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to negative 4 and add up to positive 3. So our 2 numbers here, we've got negative 4 times positive 1. No, that's not right. It's going to be positive 4 times negative 1 and positive 4 plus negative 1. So that's what we've got. And so we're going to split up the 3x as positive 4 and negative 1. So this is going to be 0 equals 2x squared plus 4x minus 1x minus 2. And then we are going to factorize by parts. So we're going to get 0 is equal to 2x, and then we're going to get x plus 2. And as for the right hand side, we're actually going to get minus 1 as a common factor and x plus 2 inside. So now we've got x plus 2 as a common factor. So we can actually take x plus 2 out, and what we're going to end up with is x plus 2 multiplied by 2x minus 1. Now the 2x is from here, and the minus 1 is from here. All right. So if that's the case, then what we've got next is we've just got to try and figure out what the 2 x values are. So we've got x plus 2 is equal to 0. Or 2x minus 1 equals to 0. So in the first case, we've got x is equal to minus 2. And in the second case, we've got 2x is equal to minus 1. When it goes to the other side, it's plus 1. And then x is equal to 1 over 2. So grades wise, gets you an E, guys, this one. But I think a couple of the procedures that you can do. So this could put, this is think of this as like a procedure. Procedure 1. Do this as a procedure. This is a procedure. So if you get like 2 procedures correct, you can actually end up getting a merit as well. Negative 1x, and yep, it is the same, Jenny, but it just makes it easier for me to actually factorize. All right, let's, do you guys want to do another question like this, or let's see, 8 or 9, what's my time at? 25 minutes, okay. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and turn off slow mode, but okay, no, we've got people asking for another question. Okay, similar question. Let me just create one real quickly on the side here and hope it actually is going to work out. What do we got? Okay, just gonna not trick you guys, but like just do a little bit extra for this question. So we're gonna do question B for this. 3x squared So if I say something like minus 2x. No, it's not going to work out. 2 to the power of yeah, let's try that one. I think that should work. So try that question, guys. See how that goes. 1/3 of -1. Damn, that's like super fast. Theo, I want to go and play. We've got 23 minutes, man, and then I'm gonna go play. Guys, I know there's a lot of people asking me for simultaneous word equations, but word problems. I honestly struggle to come up with simultaneous equations questions on the spot. But if you do have one and it's kind of like a similar question, then I'm quite happy to actually kind of do this with for you guys. But anyway, I'm going to actually go through this question real quickly because I'm just mindful of the time and we've got quite a few questions, got a few more questions that we need to get through. So just remember 2 has power of 1. So we're going to rewrite this as 2 to the power of 3x squared equals 2 to the power of -2x plus 1. And because both of the bases are the same, we can just say the powers are equal to each other. So we're going to get 3x squared is equal to -2x plus 1. And then we're going to rearrange it. So we're going to get 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. And this is equal to 0. Now, I know some of you guys came up with the factors for this really quickly. If you can do that, that's absolutely fine. All right. Now, the way I'm going to do it is always my usually slow method. 3 times -1 is -3. I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to -3 and add up to +2. So in this case, it's going to be 3 times -1 and 3 plus -1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace 3 and -1 instead of this 2 here. So it's going to be 3x squared plus 3x minus 1x minus 1. Split it by 2 and I've got equals to 0. Oh, come on, Nimish, that's like a merit question there, man. Let me just see. All right, I'm going to do this one first. So we've got 3x as a common factor, so we can write this as x plus 1. And then -1 is a common factor, which means we can also write this as x plus 1 equals to 0. So now what we have is x plus 1 is a common factor. So we can take that out, and we've got x plus 1 times 3x minus 1, which is equal to 0. So we can say that x plus 1 equals to 0, or 3x minus 1 equals to 0. So in this case, first case, we've got x is equal to -1. And in the second case, we've got 3x is equal to +1. And then x is equal to 1 over 3. So those are our 2 answers. Sweet. So as usual, this one, E right there, make a mistake, you might get a merit. Get up to here, that's one procedure, so it could get you an achieved, or doing this also gets you an achieved. And remember, 2 A's in this question is actually going to be a merit. All right, let's go to question 8. Fairly, I'm just trying to put another simple question here for you guys, just to kind of give a break from the excellence questions. Theo, man, I don't play 2K20. I think just as I was saying to some of these guys earlier, I finally bought 2K16 for $1 on Trade Me. All right, anyway, let's do this question. This question, it looks kind of complicated, guys, but all you got to do is just expand the brackets, all right? Because it says the sides of the rectangle of this, you got to try and work out what the area is. So all you got to do is just do a quadratic expansion. So 2x times x, 2x squared, 2x times minus 5, minus 5x, negative 1 times x is negative 1x, and then negative 1 times negative 5 is plus 5. But this part is really important, is that you've got to simplify this, because if you don't simplify this, you don't get that achieved. Because I remember when I marked this paper, one of the schedules actually said if you don't simplify it, boom, you don't actually get that achieved grade. So make sure you do this. Now I've made a mistake here somewhere. I can see that now. Thank you for notifying me. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Thanks, True. So we can simplify this as 2x squared minus 11x plus 5. All right, if you want to be sure, you can actually do it like this if you want. You can write a equals to 2, b equals minus 11, c is equal to 5, but it's not, it doesn't matter. We can just, you can actually leave it as it is. Yeah, I just don't want to pay $100 for a game, mate, that you just keep releasing every year again and again. All right, guys, let's go to question number 9. Got another quadratic. Peachy, I think that's coming up next, man. Number 10 is a very similar question like that. Wait, what? How many viewers did we have at one point? I counted 450 as the highest at one point. No, Theo, don't do that, please. No. Guys, seriously, don't do anything like that. Just look after yourself, man. Ah, 457. Damn, I missed that number. It's all right. Okay, let's do question number 9 here, guys. We've got a quadratic that we need to solve, and I know I've been kind of spending quite a bit of time on quadratics. But the reason is, you know, it's just part of the paper. It's just going to come. And I know there's a couple of word questions simultaneous coming through. Once I finish this, I will have a look at, I'll have a look at, have a look at the word questions, all right? Okay, cool. Let's do this one. So we've got 6 times minus 1, which is equal to negative 6. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add up to plus 1. So what we've got here is, what do we got? 3 and negative 2, is it? Yep, 3 and negative 2. So that 1x there, I'm going to replace it with 3 and negative 2. So we've got 6x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 1 equals to 0. So I'm going to split them up into two parts. We've got 3x as a common factor in the first one, which could be written as 2x plus 1. And as for the right-hand side bracket, we've got negative 1 as a common factor, and we can write that as 2x plus 1 equals to 0. So at this point, we've got 2x plus 1 and 2x plus 1 as common factors. So we can write that as 2x plus 1 multiplied by 3x minus 1, and this is equal to 0. So we've got to keep going to solve it. So you got 2x plus 1 equals to 0, or 3x minus 1 equals to 0. And then you got 2x is equal to negative 1. And then x is equal to negative 1 over 2. And as for that second answer, we've got 3x is equal to positive 1, and then x is equal to 1 over 3. Red sector. I think I've actually done that question in one of the prep videos, man. So okay, guys, that's number 9. Shafiq, that's the most awesome compliment I've actually got in a long time. Thanks, man. Sorry, Muddy. I just got to try and get through this, man, till about, I've got another 10 minutes on this tutorial. So I've got 2 more questions, guys. 2 big questions here. One is a dimensions question, and then the other one is the exponential question there. Drac, I just made up these questions, man. So just kind of going through with it at the moment. Okay, guys, so this question here is another excellence question, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work through it and just show you guys how you can actually get achieved in merit in this as well. So the first thing is this: you want to get rid of that 8. But I'll tell you what, I've seen people make this mistake. They see this 8 and 2, and then they multiply this as 16 to the power of x minus 1. Now, if you're the person that actually did this, please remember that this is actually incorrect, and that's not going to actually work now. So what we can do is we need to get rid of the 8 and rewrite that as 2 to the power of something. So we know that 8 is actually 2 to the power of 3, because you guys we've just done so many of those, multiplied by 2 to the power of x minus 1, and then this is less than 60. So because you've got 2 as the 2 bases, we can actually put them together and add the powers. We're going to get 2 to the power of 3 plus x minus 1, and that has to be less than 60. So simplify this. So you're going to get 2x plus 2 is less than 60. Now, guys, if you get up to this part here, what do you get for this part here? Let's have a look at the schedule. Getting up to that part, divide by 9. No, we're not doing that. Right hand side in index form. No, can't do right hand side in index form, but left hand side, yeah. 3 more procedures. Okay, now you still have to answer this, but definitely getting an achieved here somewhere. But we've got to actually try and do this. So the way we're going to do this is you kind of can do guess and check here if you want to, but I always say to people, like, just kind of write some of the 2 to the powers down, so that kind of helps you out. So we already know 2 to the power of 3 is 8, right? 2 to the power of 4 is 16, and if I just keep going, 2 to the power of 5 is 32, and 2 to the power of 6 is 64. So basically what I have to say here is that x plus 2, it can't actually equal to 6, because what happens is if it equals to 6, then I'm going to get 2 to the power of 6. Is it less than 60? Well, you can't really say 64 is less than 60, so that's not going to work. So basically what it means is that this power, it can be 5, it can be 4, it can be 3, and it just goes all the way down. So in other words, you can actually say that x plus 2, so there's 2 ways you can do this. The first method is you can say that x plus 2 is less than 6, or the second method is you can say x plus 2 is less than or equal to 5. So in the first method, you're just going to write down x is less than 6 minus 2, which means you're going to end up getting x is less than 4, Or the second method, if you're doing the second method, you'd write down x is less than or equal to 5, take away 2, which means you end up getting x is less than or equal to 3. Oh, 479. Damn. That's insane. Absolutely insane. All right, so what do you get for this question? If you write correct solution, that actually ends up getting an excellence. Yeah, Nimish, they will actually say something along the lines of it'll be like an integer or a whole number or something like that. So they have to say it. They can't just kind of leave it empty. And I know they did it last year, which was a bit of a mistake. But they should be saying that it is actually an integer or a whole number. So guys, this question, very useful to know. Just good little bit of guessing and checking could still potentially get you an excellence. All right, last question for the night, and then I'm just going to pause because I know like a lot of people have to get to sleep. So just this question, I'm not going to ask you guys to solve it because it is a freaking annoying question to try and solve it. But I will actually say that, yeah, just give you guys a couple of seconds just to have a look at it. Can you guys see that? Drac, I'm actually in Auckland, man. I'm a high school teacher. 480. Yeah, pity. Yeah, Okay, guys, I wouldn't expect you guys to solve this because this is just like, this is a horrible number, but all I wanted you guys to kind of see was just to show you guys how to get to that 6x squared plus 7x minus 98. So the way you kind of do that is have a look at the ln. The ln is like you've got 3x here, you've got 1 there from there to there, 3x is from there to there, and then you've got another 1. As for the height, you've got 1 meter there, and then you've got 2x there. So basically what it says is that the area is equal to 100. Now the area can be written as base times height. So area is equal to 100. Now the base is, you've got 3x plus 2. The reason I say plus 2 is because you've got 1 here and you've got another 1 there to make up plus 2. And then your height is going to be 2x plus 1. The reason is because you got that plus 1 right there. All right. So this is a proof question. I'm not asking you guys to actually solve this. So all you got to do is you got to expand the brackets. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times 1x is 3x. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 1 is just 2. So then we can say 0 is equal to 6x squared. And you got 3x and 4x, which is 7x, plus 2, and you've got minus 100. Which means you're going to get 0 is equal to 6x squared plus 7x minus 98. That's it. That's basically what the proof is. All right, guys. Look, that's basically it for the tutorial for MCAT for this year. Man, that was crazy. 480 people. All I've got is, guys, tomorrow, just honestly, just answer every question as possible. If you see an exponential, remember what I talked to you about. Even if you can't remember how to do your 2 to the power of, just write that stuff down on the side, like 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, and actually try and actually answer some of the questions. Do not leave any question empty. Yeah, so just make sure you guys actually answer every question. And even if you get a wrong quadratic and you don't know how to factorize it, just have a go, because sometimes you'll be surprised at what they actually give you and achieved for. All good, guys. I know, no worries. You guys are welcome. Good luck for tomorrow. Take your time with answering questions, but yeah, just get some good rest as well. I don't think. Wow, this is just I can't actually read the comments because it's just going nuts at the moment. But you guys are welcome and good luck, guys. You'll be all good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know Taranjot. Even with slow mode, it's just going nuts at the moment. Jeez. Aaron, just check out the videos, man. I think there's a couple of citations in my. Okay, wait, Aaron. I'll actually find something for you, just so you can. Let me just see if this link is still working. Yeah, there we go. It's still working. There you go, guys. So don't stress, all right? I've done my part and I'm just happy to help out people. Wow, you guys are still here. Get some sleep, guys. Get some sleep. I think I'm coming back with level 2 tutorials next week because quite a few level 2 people have been asking for help. Bulgaria, jeez. Jonathan, no, don't do that excellence questions first, man. Remember at the start of the video I was mentioning to you? Just go through all those easy questions, get them out of the way, and then start working on those challenging questions, because you never know which question, like whether question 1C is excellence or 1B is excellence. So yeah. The last one was just a proof question, so I'd probably say it's more like a merit than anything else. Face reveal. Jeez, what is this obsession with face reveal? Just have a look here, guys. I thought I had my. Where was it? Where is it? I'm sure one of my interviews is somewhere there. There you go. There. It's right at the bottom. But there, yeah, that's it. Tables and graphs, Dominic. More towards the end, man. We do it towards the end. Peach, all I ask is just look after people, man. That's people will look after you. So don't worry about kind of anything else. Just try and help people out as much as you can. Good night, guys. Good luck. Good luck. Rajat, that's a long story, man. It's a really long story. Yeah, the geometric reasoning paper I will actually do later on. I just got to try and get, once I finish the level 1 MCAT stuff, I will start doing some level 2 tutorials. And after doing some level 2 tutorials, I would actually create the geometric reasoning papers. Andy Zoo, I actually have got that tattooed on my hand, man. Tap, I failed English so much, man. It's not even funny. Daniel, it depends, Daniel, because I've got some videos in there for internals, but I know most people want help for externals. So basically just, what do you mean 8K sub Q&A? What have I hit now? Are you guys serious? I don't think I hit 8K, didn't I? Yeah, 7.58. No, Jay, no, man, no. Seriously, guys, don't worry about any kind of money or anything like that. Just cease. Can you show this any question one more time? Philip G. 45 videos. I think there's 100 and something in that. Yeah, 142 videos. There you go. No, Jerry, you can actually do internals and pass it as well. True Hoshi, we all get access. The access to the answers are free, man. But it's just because I've marked it, I'm all good. I kind of understand what's happening. Gerard, I I talked about it to a few of my mates, but and I know someone actually mentioned to me earlier, can you like put some, what do you call it, ads on monetize your videos? I'm like, nah, man, I don't want to. Look, guys, this is not about making money or anything. It's just about trying to help out people, man. That's it. So yeah. Nah, Andy, it's all good, man. Just help. It's the most important thing. Help people out. Geez, there's still 300 people here. Shouldn't you guys be like going to sleep right now? Adam Chow, one thing I'll say this, man, content, if you're content with life, yeah, it doesn't matter, man. You're happy with what you have. Trevor Noah. Jonathan, if you're stuck in a question, just give it a break, go and work on other questions and come back, because usually what happens is that your brain is so powerful, man, to be honest. It'll keep working in the background as you're working on those easy questions. So that's why it's really important that it's really important that you actually read every question at the start of the exam paper before you even start writing an answer. All right, because what happens is when you read every question, even though your brain actually processes information at the background as you're doing those easy questions. Brennan, heaps of word questions in that playlist that I've just put up. Regan, chance and data is not my domain, man. Like, I'm trying to get like other maths teachers to kind of contribute as well. So just kind of trying to get them to actually create something like this, and then kind of help out so that other teachers step up as well and kind of do something different. Well, not step up. I mean they do amazing things in class, but this is the whole reason I'm doing this, is because I'm just doing a trial just to see like whether the education system is working or not, and that's why I do these things. Now, Lewis, one of my colleagues does, man. Check out her channel under Liz Sneddon. Lexi, 3 A's to pass. Sam, nah, man, you don't actually get that marks back till January, theoretically, but oh my god. Kevin, I'm sure there's some other beautiful names, man, like lols. I think it was 2 E's, if I remember last. 2 E's and 2 M's. Let me just see. Yeah, so you can actually get, if you get 3 E's, then you actually end up getting a what do you call it, an excellence. I know what you're talking about, Arish. Surely I could have done another question. Weeb, I think 2018 was a little bit better than 2017, just in terms of some of the questions. Jerry, depends on your school, man. Daniel, there's no such thing as E8 in MCAT. MCAT is marked slightly differently. Zayden, I'll be honest, Zayden, when I actually got a link to that interview, I actually sent it to my my mom and dad, because my dad wasn't happy that I was going to be a teacher, and my mom actually said at that point, don't, it's a hard job, don't be a teacher. But I said, look, I just feel like I got to do this. So yeah, so mom and dad were very proud after watching that interview as well. Teach at Ormiston Senior College. Lols, you'll get an excellence for that. Michu, you keep asking that question. I think she's another teacher, man. Aries, there's a link in the description section, man. So if you go to the description section, all my questions are there. Tap, favorite thing of being a teacher is actually sitting down and learning with you guys, man, because the world you live in is so different to the world we think that we understand. So half the time I actually just really enjoy just sitting down with my kids and actually learning things with them. The reason we don't actually teach MCAT at us, we do teach the MCAT stuff for our schools as we just don't assess it. The reason we don't assess it is because I don't know, I just feel like, personally, I feel like this MCAT paper is just sometimes a mission for people to actually get through, and so that's why we have our own system. No worries, Angela. Happy to help out. Hi, God's chest. Okay, I am going to stop the stream at 22:15, guys, because you guys need to go to sleep. Regan Norris, I attended Auckland Uni and I failed first 5 years of my university, man. People said, don't be a maths teacher, you suck at it. Because that's how bad I did in university. It's maths teacher, Michu. Maths teachers know each other, man. It's a small world. No, Callum, I will not accept a donation. Keep it for yourself, man. Buy something nice for your parents or buy something for yourself. Uh, Kitchen ready? No, it's not called middle math. It's just normal maths. 22:15. True. Krish, what kept you motivated? I'm actually giving a talk about that in about I think next week, Thursday. I'm starting to work on that speech. What kept me motivated was, I don't know, man, just I made a choice. I made a choice to be a teacher. And even though I kept failing in university, people said quit. I was like, you know what? I don't know, man, I just got to do this. It just felt like it's the right thing to do. So, yeah, so I just kept going. Yep, Angel, they kept failing me, and I just didn't know how to study, guys. I didn't know how to study. I didn't know how to pass exam papers and things like that. But once you do, man, it's pretty sweet. Like, God's just keep it, man, keep it. Don't worry about it. I'm still sucking at 2K16. Like, because honestly, the last 2K NBA that I played before 2K16 was 2K6. That was like, it wasn't too bad back then, but now it's just like so many more crazy things happening, and I'm like, what the hell is happening here? But it's all right. I'll get there somehow. I'm not original. Happy to help people, man. So just feel free to share. No worries. Rajat, I don't think I actually have the setup because I'm running this whole system on a very cheap tablet from like 3 years from 3 years ago. Revish, born in India, moved here when I was 12. Been here since then. Been alone here since 18 actually, because my parents left for Australia. So yeah, so that was a bit of a story. Will you accept V-Bucks? Regan, I think 2K16 I think I've just discovered that the server is actually off. So no, I will. Don't worry about it, man. Angeline Mendez, any tips for taking maths in the future? My simple suggestion is just keep practicing, all right? A lot of people get put off by the MCAT, but guys, I'll tell you this right now. MCAT is not the end of the world. Um, like I've actually worked with kids that have failed MCAT and actually went on to do level 3 calculus. Because all you got to remember is that you just got to persevere, right? You got to persevere and you just got to keep working and you'll be fine. Don't Just because you failed the MCAT doesn't mean that you can't do maths. Okay, you need to get that in your head. As long as you're willing to practice, man, you'll be good. Good stuff, Peter. Good luck for your exam tomorrow, man. 37, top 37. Wait, geez, I can't even do that anymore. Hang on, what year is it? 2019. Yeah, I'm still 37. Sweet. Quick tips, Callum. Answer every question. Do all the easy ones first, and then keep the challenging ones towards the after you do all the easy questions, because that actually gives you confidence in attempting the paper. Wishpinder, the only thing I'd actually say for university is just get yourself organized, man. Like, I mean, I know so many people that say I'm going to study for the next 1 hour and they spend, I think, 5 minutes studying and 55 minutes on social media or like getting a drink or getting food. The biggest thing is discipline. Getting yourself like a goal. Like if you're going to say I'm going to study for 1 hour, then you got to study for 1 hour, that you don't actually get distracted by anything. Just getting that discipline is really, really important. No worries, Muddy. You're welcome. Mochiru Red, are you in Papatui? Oh hell no, you guys actually set it up? Are you curious? Serious? Nah, dog, jeez. I hope not. How's the measles life going? Horrible. Let her go, Noah. Let her go. She's just another teacher. Will you do another stream on Wednesday before the second MCAT? JP2 Gaming? Probably not. Because I'm just exhausted, man, from doing the MCAT. Dominic? Not sure whether it'll make the news or not. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Jeez, messages are still coming, eh? Good Lord. Still 255 people are here. People, you need to go to sleep. Nah, from Tamil Nadu, Rajat. Winter Soldier, don't worry. I'm gonna try and see if I can get some help from Microsoft, because I use Surface for this. Will you still get marked if you use the quadratic equation? Tap, you can actually use the quadratic equation in MCAT. You'll be fine, man. So if you know it, just use it. Noah Dean, she's a teacher, I believe. Callum. Oh man, where do you guys always have this one word problem right now? Procrastination. Can you please post Dimensions website? Kenny, I think that website is actually called hang on, let me just find it. I think if you look for, just give me a second, just looking for that website. I'm just trying to look for that question that you kind of asked me. Here we go. This link here should help you with that. Kenny, I think it was Kenny that asked. I can't remember now. Whew, this keeps going. Yeah, sorry, Kenny, I've just put the link up there. What else? Sleep tutorials. Nah, no more MCAT tutorials, guys. This is the last one. Maybe I might do a couple of questions, but I know that people are actually kind of majority of the people are doing it tomorrow. Jonathan, sometimes it's just nuts, man. Sometimes if I get like 4 or 5 hours a night, I'm pretty happy with it. Then I just get to work. Callum, when I finish this stream, it will be up straight up. Like, I think it takes like literally 2 or 3 minutes to actually process it and then upload. It automatically does it, so it's all good. Nah, that's a lot. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the stream right now, but as always, I will hang around for a few more minutes. But yes, that's basically it. As I said to you guys, good luck tomorrow. And yeah, just let me know how the exam actually goes, because I don't actually get to see the paper at all.